You gotta have a maggot with some stamina.
You know, let's talk about my egg for a while, a little bit more here, shall we? Because we haven't really done that in a couple minutes. And this was a question we had before you joined us, Terry. It was in this goop. So first of all, so you know what the goop was that they used?
Yes, I do.
Does anybody here want to venture a guess?
Hair gel.
Hair gel.
Well, you guys suck. Yeah.
Okay, there we've got our sound bite for the next. You mind if we use it as a promo?
Well, you guys suck. Well, you guys suck. Well, you guys suck.
Oh my god, I used to love this show. Now I just want to get out of here.
Well, you guys suck.
Oh my god, I hate you right now. I want to slap you so bad.
So you're going to be doing a little video bump of this one too, aren't you, Solo? Huh?
Listen, hip hop, they can be to the hip hop, and you don't stop.
Tasmanian Devils 2, the Wonder Bra years, in which Danica McKellar has learned the age-old lesson, with great cleavage comes great responsibility.
Too, aren't you, Solo? Huh?
Listen, hip hop, they can be to the hip hop, and you don't stop.
Zombies are supposed to be dead. You can't come back from being a zombie.
If you have language skills, you're not a zombie. You're a Kardashian with a skin condition.
I'm not down with the talking either. Zombies are dead.
You gotta have a maggot with some stamina.
Rip me another apple.
Because a maggot with stamina can light you up front to back. Too, aren't you, Solo? Huh?
Listen, hip hop, they can be to the hip hop, and you don't stop. And Tommy is down there, and Black Jonah wants everybody up.
I wish Tommy was one who'd been shot.
There's that dark milk.
What's wrong with
What you got against Tommy?
I don't like him. He talks like he's got this criminal past. My God. I have socks that are meaner than him. I don't like him.
Say it. Tommy's a dick. Say it.
Tommy. No, he's not. That's the problem. He's just, I don't like Tommy.
And hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of SnarkAlec Radio. You were treated to a retrospective of indication of our slow improvements over the many episodes we did. I'm Kelly Toole at KELLYTHUL on Twitter, and we have a jam-packed evening. We have some folks that can't stay with us super long, so we want to kind of get rolling really quick. So I thought I would do introductions real quick, and then we can talk a little bit about the show. I've introduced myself, so now I'm going to hand it over to, in a bunker somewhere in New Jersey, Tony Solo.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Solo, and back with us tonight is the famous, infamous Melissa. Hey, Mel.
Hey, it's nice to be back. Thank you for inviting me. I'm Mel, at Karmic9 on Twitter, as some of you may remember. And I guess it's my turn to throw it to Mike. That dark man in the corner over there.
Hi, Tom. And we have a very special guest tonight. Kelly, this is where you pick up as the host, and you...
Okay, so you're not going to provide any more than that. Okay, we do have a very special guest, and a third time, Rebekah? Is this the third? I want to.
Third or fourth? I'm not sure.
Yeah, but a guest we love having on every time she joins us, Rebekah Kennedy. Say hi to everybody, Rebekah.
Hello.
And it sounds like I saw a little bit on the chat side of things that you may or may that you're basically only seeing Tony. And I'd like to deeply apologize if that's the case. But maybe click on his picture and it'll start to rotate around. I'm not sure, his little thumbnail. Just a guess, but anyway.
Yeah. There we go. I was like, I don't see anybody else just yet.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Counts.
That. I just click on Tony's picture and just kind of pine throughout the show. So we have lots of things to do and little time to do it on our last episode. We will be doing our usual news. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the Z Nation finale. Then we're going to visit a lot with Rebekah on a number of very cool projects she's either done or is about to be released, and some very cool things there. We'll talk about The Walking Dead. We have a game that is going to allow SnarkAlec participation, and I think I've worked out the kinks on that, but we'll find out, and I'm sure you all will give me feedback if I was unsuccessful, and then we're going to wrap things up here. So with that, I believe I'll be turning the news over to gentleman Mike.
Thank you, sir. Let me get a quick drink before we...
We brought a like.
Oh, yeah, well, that looks pretty good. Can I have a hit on that there, Mike?
Yeah, sure. Here you go.
Thanks. Special effects.
Broke the budget because it's the finale.
That's right. We're pulling out all this. That was a CGI bottle.
How did he do that? All right.
Well, I
had something a little bit elaborate for the news originally planned, but since we only have Mel for a little bit of time, I'm just going to burn through it. Shit ton of birthdays. Friday, December 12th is MJ Khan!
Do that as Orson Welles. No, Howard Hughes.
Friday, December 12th. I think you mean Howard Hughes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Howard Hughes, my bad.
Friday,
What's his name?
12th. MJ Khan! Tuesday, December 16th, we have Glenn Portman.
Natalie's
Saturday,
father.
December 27th is Melissa, Karmic 9. She's here with us right now.
Yay!
Sunday, December 28th is Gerald Webb. You guys all know him, of course. And Wednesday, December 31st is Julia. Is that Saint Julia?
I believe so. Mike, you're coming in and out a little bit. Are you using your regular mic, or are you just too far away?
I might just be too far away. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good.
Gonna
be leaning in all show. That'll be awesome.
I'm watching you, Tony.
Hey, Mike, would you like some back?
Yeah, can you pass that to me? Thanks, Kelly. Refreshing.
So, Melissa and I feel left out now.
I
Hey,
have
hold
some
on, I'll
tea.
just
I'm
grab
okay.
this.
See, Kelly and I are in the same room, and we always have been. That's the thing that nobody's figured out.
Yeah, I'm totally creeped out right now.
Imagine my situation.
It's worse than you think, because never have I done this show with pants on.
Yep.
Has anybody done this show with pants on?
I'm sorry?
I don't think anybody's done this show with pants on.
No, I actually did. I think Tony Viejo was here with me twice, and I did it with pants on, just to make you guys feel more comfortable. Not as soon as we were off, I took my pants off. He was still here. And then with Vex, but Vex kept taking his pants off.
Yeah.
So, just a couple quick little things with the news. Dylan knows, of course, and his show, The Assistant. As some of you might have figured out, I am going to be appearing on The Assistant. Now, I believe that is in violation of the rules that we set up for Talking Assistant. Am I right there, Tony and Kelly?
I didn't know we had any rules, but
we originally said that we weren't going to have anyone from The Assistant on Talking Assistant.
Yeah, I think that was originally centered more around the cat, but I believe it was expanded to anyone.
Wait a minute, we could have gotten the cat?
I thought so.
We fucked up. I didn't know that we could have had the cat as a guest.
I would have been happy with a furball from the cat, but not the cat. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I want the cat, but I want the cat in a different location because I'm severely allergic to cats.
So a furball wouldn't do it for you?
No, not for me. So make sure you guys watch all that. I don't know what's going to happen. I think, obviously, Tony and Kelly are going to have to take over as hosts of the show, and we'll have to figure something out as far as the rest of it goes, since technically I'm not allowed to appear on the show.
Well, if it's anything like Talking Dead, if you appear on the show, wouldn't you have to be, like, written out of The Assistant?
Well, I think I could maybe appear as a guest, but I can't be the host. So that's going to have to be you or Kelly are going to have to take over as host. Okay. I'm suggesting a fight to the death for the title.
Tony wins.
That's just
He
me.
wins. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Kelly. Congratulations, Kelly.
Good luck with that show, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the cat's going to be hosting Talking Assistant.
I think she could handle it. She's a very talented cat.
Did you say it was a very talented cat?
I said she was a very talented cat.
Well, of course. I mean, Dylan is obviously the acting coach of the cat, right? Can we give that away?
I think we can.
Well, and what a lot of people don't know is that cat started out its life as a dog. And it is actually a dog acting as a cat.
Pet reassignment surgery?
Yes.
I don't even want to think about it.
Yes. And you want to know something? You talk about fake whiskers. A lot of people say those whiskers, you know, you can't fool people, but those whiskers, they're good.
And Kelly, do you have a boo of the week for us?
I do. The final boo of SnarkAlec Radio, and this actually is going to go to our very own Tony Solo, who, earlier this week, Gerald Webb was cool enough to kind of tweet out one of the movies he was in. There was some apparent Russian overdubbing of it that was done, and so Gerald tweeted out saying, "Hey, look at me, Rocket in Russian." And what I learned a couple things. The main thing I learned is the name Eve in Russian is Eve. So that was good. That was good to know. I didn't know that. But Tony followed up Gerald's tweet with, "Why are you in a hurry, Gerald?" And a couple other people on the chain, Pirate Mel and Gerald, answered Tony's question about being in a hurry when missing the pun about Russian being in a hurry. So Tony, out of a peak of frustration, booed all of us. Just said, "Russian in a hurry, I boo all of you." So there's nothing greater than that for boo of the week. So congratulations, Tony Solo, boo of the week.
Yeah, and I picked up on that Eve thing too. It was funny because it was overdubbed, but you can hear them speaking English under it, so it made it kind of entertaining. And it was just funny where everybody was yelling out Eve, not just Gerald Webb. It was like, "Eve, Eve," you know. That was a funny clip. I'd love to see that movie.
And he died in it, as he does. So
quite well.
I know.
And he wasn't wearing an ugly-ass shirt.
So that take it up for news there, Mikey?
Yeah. I think we should move on as quickly as we can so we can get as much Mel time in as we can.
Okay. So help me on timing here a little bit. Do we take a super fast break and get back into Z Nation real quick?
Yes, super fast break.
Okay, so super fast break. Last SnarkAlec Radio. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back. That was a super fast break. So we're going to talk about Z Nation now. So the finale, big news in the finale. First of all, Tony, and I'm still skeptical, but Tony has indicated that he's finally won over and joined Team Murphy. But we will explore that a little bit further in a second. So, and Rebekah, I know that so have you not watched any Z Nation?
No, I don't have cable at the moment.
That's right. That's right. Well, Mike will cut you illegal DVDs and mail them to you. So we'll get going.
No, Mike would never do that.
So cool. So we'll just kind of run through this.
I mean, it's fine if you spoil things. It's fine.
Okay. Key spoiler for you to know is the character Murphy is awesome. That's the main thing you need to know.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
I'll remember that.
So Mel, while we have you here, what did you think of this finale?
I liked it. I didn't get to watch it live with y'all, but I caught it the other day, and I really liked it. Team Murphy forever. Murphy's pretty cool. You know, he did leave them, but I'm interested to see what they do when they come back after he's apparently peeled all of his skin off and is driving away naked from a nuclear blast.
Well,
that was a nice touch. I mean, really.
Yeah. And I don't know how how they're going to actually pull it off at all, because it looks like they didn't know if they were going to have a second season. So if it ended right there, they all got nuked. But how do they, I mean, unless there's a way of destroying the warheads before they hit the ground, how are we going to get a second season?
I think the Indiana Jones freezer method. There should be enough freezers handy for every cast member to crawl into a freezer.
I forgot about that.
I feel like Stephen Hawking is the one who proposed that theory, right?
Yeah, I think it is based on scientific theory, so I think that's where that came from.
But
it seems bleak.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you that at the point that I became a member of the Church of Murph and on Team Murphy was when he discovered he could remote control people after he kind of bit them. And one of the things that they did was when he bit that, and I can't remember the character's name, sorry, she was only in one episode, but the girl that was with them going into the pharmaceutical place, they kind of, her husband was one of the zombies that was running around picking up the drugs, and they kind of made you feel that Murph was going to remote control her into taking out the leader of the gang when, you know, out of the blue she sees her husband and, you know, she becomes a non-entity, but Murph ends up saving the day. That's what sealed it. But all in all, I mean, I think the Asylum got that just right. There's just enough over the top, just enough fun, with a pretty fast-paced story to keep people interested.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd care if most of these characters, if most of the characters died, you care. There's a few I'm kind of cool with if they don't make it, but by and large, most of them you kind of care a lot about. It's been clever, I think, in a lot of things. I do wonder. It appears Murphy. I do like. So I am, and I've been a clear Team Murphy guy from the beginning. But even my strong Murphy support is a little bit tested by the concept of a skinless, naked Murphy. is a little bit of a concern to me. So
see, that's only strengthened my resolve.
That's kind of sealed the deal right there.
Yeah. Well, Z Nation is basic. It's on Sci-Fi, so it's basic cable. So I'm not expecting full frontal or any kind of nudity on that show.
Or dorsal nudity.
but the question that I have is, Cassandra, is she like Murphy now? Because she seems to be half zombie, a thing. What? She's not Murphy because Murphy's still alive. She's more zombie than human. But she was one of the keys to them getting out of that place at the end. Is she done? Or is she coming back as, as a Murphy minion, or maybe she's not under his control because he didn't bite her, but she had a bite mark on her face. Where did she get that from? Did Murphy bite her? Did I miss that?
Well, I think so I assume he did, because everybody else kind of left the room, and Murphy said, "I'll be right with you." And so there was this period of time where he could have done something, and knowing Murphy, who knows what he could have done. But it does appear to me like, because that looked like Murphy's dental impressions based on my stop action review of it.
Your extensive stalking?
Yes. due to there's a incisor that's got a slight impaction, and if you look, you can see that in the indentations on her face. So cool. I just don't know how you get out of a bunch of nuclear bombs dropping on everywhere, because like Citizen Z's got one coming his way, and our crew does, and so I'm looking forward to it. But and that was the thing, is that a lot of times people get really upset when you cliffhang something that hard. I didn't get that from hardly anybody on Twitter. I thought everybody just thought it was awesome and was looking forward to.
Well, I think we all know from the old scare films that all you really need to do is duck and cover, and you'll be fine.
That's true. Stop, drop, and roll.
Yep.
Into a freezer.
Hey, if kids could just hide under desks and be safe, how hard can it be?
Right.
Kelly, can you pass me that bottle again?
I would be happy to, Mike. Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
It's like real. It's amazing.
Y'all are just amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's the way you got to go, because when Kelly's throwing it to his left and Mike is grabbing it from the right, it doesn't look right, at least for me. But if you just go straight like that and then bring it down and then Mike pulls it up, it works a lot better.
Well, that's because you're seeing a mirror image from the webcam.
Yeah,
but Melissa's in between, so it should actually go past Melissa.
She's not Melissa's not in the room.
Yeah, she's not in the room with us, Tony. That doesn't make any sense.
It's working perfectly for me because y'all are right next to each other on my screen. So it's working perfectly on my end.
Okay.
You were the priority, so we're good.
I appreciate that.
So we just hit the 9:31.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go, guys. I appreciate y'all letting me come back. Thank you, everybody. But yeah, I've got to go. I'm sorry.
It's awesome to see you.
It was awesome seeing you, Mel. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll have to do something again. But thank you.
Bye, Mel.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Bye, Mel.
I should really boot her out, but I won't because I'm a nice guy. She left on her own accord.
That was nice.
Yes, it was. So I know it's a little bit early, but if we pop another break here, we can get into match. And I have to crank up a couple of things because I got to get to the questions that we've had submitted for Rebekah via web. And if there's any questions coming in through Twitter, please hit me, Kelly, or Mike up, or all of us, so we can see them. No special hashtag.
Nope, but there's really only one question, Rebekah.
Hashtag no special hashtag.
No special hashtag. Yeah.
Yes.
There's only really one question Rebekah needs to answer, and she knows the right answer to that question. But we'll come back and have... She's shaking her head already. We'll come right back after this break to visit with Rebekah. You're listening to SnarkAlec Radio on Live 365's Loud and Loaded Final Show. Hi, everybody. You're back. You're listening to SnarkAlec Radio on Live 365's Loud and Loaded. Tony, Mike, Kelly, Mel was just with us but had to go. And our awesome guest, Rebekah Kennedy, is with us. And she endured...
Kelly, can you make Final Show like that again?
Final Show.
That's really how you need to take it in and out of each word.
Okay, got it. We'll do.
And, guys, I just want to let you know I just shared the questions with you both. So.
Oh, on the Q&A or something?
No, not in the Q&A. No, not in chat. You want me to pull them up in chat? I can.
Nope.
I can.
Nope. How'd you share it? I go to Drive.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do that. So, but again, Rebekah's only got one question to answer, so we can just do it. So you today in front of the country on the Final Show. Can you commit, Rebekah, to discontinuing the use of the highly inappropriate hashtag #CreepyKelly?
No.
Thank you, Rebekah.
But thanks for trying.
Rebekah makes you my favorite final guest.
Yes. Well, fine. I got nothing else for her. Anyone else?
He tried. He tried to tell me that everyone wanted it to stop, but it's really just you.
It's like for private, I shared. For confidentiality, I can't divulge everyone who's requested, but it is many, many, many people are asking for this.
I am not one of those many, Rebekah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
So can I get some? I really need to get this clarified. I need some clarification. So, is this the #CreepyKelly hashtag for Rebekah, or the #CreepyKelly hashtag that everybody use when they're referring to you, Kelly?
I'll let our guest answer. This is Rebekah did an incredibly awesome job in a movie where she played a character named Kelly, who was indeed creepy, and I believe, if I'm correct, was referred to on the set as #CreepyKelly.
Yes.
Yeah, and so she...
It's amazing, because that's what we refer to Kelly as here, even before we knew that.
That's why he wants me to stop, but it's not.
But she's not, so let's move on.
Go ahead, Cal.
I was going to say, how do you want to? Do you want to, Mike? I don't know if you have access to the questions or not. If we want to kind of be more than happy if we want to just round robin it. Since I struck out on my first question, Tony, if you'd like to go ahead and take the next one and perhaps have greater success.
Well, this is not one of the posted questions, but your My TV video that I tweeted out about 3 or 4 times right before the show, telling people they got to watch it, they got to watch it, they got to watch it. That went up today, correct?
Yes, correct.
And the last time this is what you were working on when we saw you the last time, that you had just a little, that we had a little teaser for.
Yes.
It's only 10 minutes long. I would suggest everybody go out and watch it, because for a 10-minute little flick, I was telling the guys before the show, I was watching it as a father of a high school daughter, and it pretty amazing.
The way you actually originally worded it is you're watching it through a father's eyes, which gave me really creepy pictures in my head.
That's right.
Well, I actually said through a daddy's eyes, like a daddy's eyes, like a doll's eyes, But it is extremely well done. And it all comes, and we can't really say too much about it because it all comes together at the end, where you kind of, see where it comes back around to what was going on. And I would stand up and give you a standing O, but everybody knows I'm not wearing pants, and that would just be inappropriate.
It's never stopped, Kelly.
Well, thank you.
So I too watched it and thought it was awesome, and I'm pulling a quote from the Bartender of Life. Struck me as a particularly awesome phrase in the movie. So I'll be referring to myself as that, I believe, for a while. It's pretty awesome.
So
but
you bring Pine Barren to rest?
I don't know. This is tough. I do think Pine Barren's pretty, and that was maybe if you can do a director's cut of this, Rebekah, you can bring up Pine Barrens, because those are cool too.
I'll do that. I'll ask for that in the next one.
Sure you will. So I was just kind of wondering on that the main male actor had some ink on his left arm. Was that the actors or was that the characters?
That was the actors, but anything can be used for the character too. So, yeah, he was like a badass teacher, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. What was his course?
English.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old English teacher tattoos. Those go way back.
He's trying to be hip, with the times. I don't know.
Okay. So I have a question that's right here. Since you've played mostly wholesome characters, which really isn't true because there was Creepy Kelly.
And Slutty Cheerleader.
And Slutty Cheerleader.
Which, interestingly, is also a nickname of Kelly's. Seeing your pattern arising here.
I actually base my characters off Kelly.
You know what? It makes sense. But what's interesting, though, is you make them infinitely more watchable.
Yeah, I'll buy that second part.
So I'm not sure I agree with this question 100%, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Since you've played mostly wholesome characters, was the mental prep different for your match tonight role in playing a more underbelly of society character? And that's from Robert, RGM3. I didn't see that as an underbelly of society character. I just saw it as a misguided youth type person. Yeah. But again, the question is, was the mental prep different for the match tonight role than any of the other characters you've played?
No, not really. I mean, in any character, you're trying to put yourself in that situation and see how you would react, how you would feel. And I mean, I think every character has some conflict and something they're trying to overcome, and some characters have more conflict than others. Like Emily in Tonight has probably more conflict as far as dealing with this love for this older person who, and it's not, you know, not appropriate, but she can't not do it, so she does. And then, of course, you see how that affects her life and how things kind of start to spiral down as she realizes that she wasn't ready for it. So it's not really, I don't know if I answered the question, but it's not really different. I still have to prep no matter what kind of character I'm playing. If I'm playing somebody more wholesome or somebody more, I guess, grungy, more, I don't know what the correct word for it would be, but it all is the same. I mean, you'll do the same amount of homework no matter what you're doing, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Holly Wilson had kind of thrown out, what's your favorite Christmas memory, Rebekah?
Christmas memory?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I really like looking at lights, Christmas lights. I still actually do, and I made my husband drag me to I dragged him to 4 or 5 different lighting things last year. So I like lights a lot. I remember when I was really little, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8, we went to this really cool neighborhood in Texas, and they had little kids that were selling hot chocolate and all this kind of cool stuff, and the neighborhood had really, really gone full scale, and each street was its own theme, and I just remember thinking it was the coolest thing ever, except for I was really disappointed because my parents did not bring cash. We could not buy the hot chocolate, and that was pretty devastating when you're 7. But other than that, no, but I still really, really like looking at lights, so that's probably one of my favorite.
So it was in Texas. So was there any of the homes, did they have execution throughout the years in the lights, Christmas lights, or those types of things, or not? Probably.
Wait, what do you mean? Probably. Well, you have the people that have them up all year round, but I don't know.
When Rebekah said that there was a cool place in Texas, I didn't think any place in Texas was cool.
Ooh.
I thought it was hot there all the time.
Oh, okay.
It's cold right now. It does get cold. It snows sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, cold. Yeah, you don't know cold.
Scott McDonald knows cold.
Is cold. All right, 20s is cold.
Okay, yeah, 20s is definitely cold.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you because I'd have to put on a t-shirt when it gets down into the 20s.
Okay.
Yeah. Cold is when they say, if you're outside for about 5 minutes, you may die. That's cold. So that was last winter.
I would die. I hate the cold.
I'm not sure. I'm checking here just what we've got kind of in from the crew here. Do you have any? And I think we probably have asked this before, but Jake from River City Center would like to know if you have any acting role models.
Oh, you broke up the last part. All I heard was acting.
Do you have any role models that you pattern your acting role models? So.
Oh. Yeah, I probably have quite a few. I think I've said this before, but I have a list of people I would love to work with, and actors that I admire and that I would love to just meet would be enough. Of course, I would want to work with them. I think one definitely is Meryl Streep. I think she's just awesome. I like her because she went to Yale and she trained, and so she doesn't just rely on natural talent. She also trained and honed her craft, and it's really just very versatile and completely immerses herself, and she's different in every role. And I really like her, and I'm actually really excited to see Into the Woods and see what she does with the witch. So that would be one.
Okay. I've got one question, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and do some more of these. But this is from our buddy Kurt Zellner. Becca, would you rather be starring in a hit TV show or a blockbuster movie. You can't go wrong with either one, but if you had a choice.
Oh man, that's really tough. I think either would be awesome. I don't even know. I guess movie. I don't know. TV would be fun too, because especially if it's long running.
Yeah,
that would
because
be
you
really
work.
fun.
You're working. You know, I think it would be better to be in a hit TV show because, you know, if there's, what is it? It's like between 13 and 26 episodes, depending on where the shows are going. So that means you're working at least 26 weeks a year. So you're working, you know, as opposed to a movie, a blockbuster movie with a big budget. How much is big budget movie, Mike? About 3 months? For an actor, maybe? Possibly.
Yeah. I mean, depending on, maybe more if it's a big action thing.
What's the longest you've ever filmed for one particular project?
A month and a half for me, because I haven't done any big action films. So.
Maybe if you're a little careful with the hashtags you used, you get that big movie. That's what I'm thinking.
Imagine yourself in an action movie and you have to kill Kelly.
Yeah.
What would be your weapon of choice?
Next time I get one, I'm going to be like, this is Kelly that I'm killing, and no, I'm just kidding.
I get that a lot. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to SnarkAlec Radio Final Show. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, you're listening to the Final Show. SnarkAlec Radio and Live 365's Loud and Loaded. We have the lovely Rebekah Kennedy with us and the a lot less lovely Mike, Tony, and Kelly. And we are peppering Rebekah with questions. And so you had also, prior to the show, so matches out there, and Tony, I think, tweeted out the link. There seems to be some sort of tied to these. There's going to be a total of 10 episodes total, or 12?
Well, this is basically what it is. So Match is the main thing. And then within Match, there are 7 pilots that comprise Match. And so they've been, this is the 5th episode that's been released today, which is mine, called Tonight. So 4 other ones have been over the last 4 weeks, one a week. And then there'll be 2 more. I'm like, I can't do my math. So basically then, which ones get picked up is based on viewership and which ones are getting the most views, which ones are getting people like them, people want to see more. So that is the goal and the hope that people will love it and that they'll want to continue to doing more of mine. So, and of course all of them, but especially mine. Just kidding.
Well, yeah, and we're rooting for all of them, but we're rooting for yours the most. So is it good? People have the link, so watch it a lot of times, tweet it, favorite it. That's good stuff for you, right? That would be
yeah. And if you have any thoughts on it, you're welcome to leave a comment on the actual YouTube page. That would be great. And also, I will make sure to tweet out the actual Match site. There's the YouTube link is what I sent out just because it's the easiest thing to find. But there's actually a site as well that has all the information on Match and has all the information on each episode. And there's actually this cool thing, this interactive content, where people can actually look at my character's blog, and they can see her postings, and she posts poems, and she posts pictures of actual bathroom scrolling, people have written on the bathroom walls. And then there's also a forum where people can talk about the characters or give ideas for future episodes. The idea is that once it's picked up, that people can actually contribute to future episodes. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I keep on starting the video, so I'm trying to up your views. But since the show started, it's gotten another 30 views because it's up over 300 now. And I tweeted the link, and I posted a comment, and I thumbs upped it, and I thumbs up everybody else's comments. So I'm all over this bitch. All right, so and everybody else should be all over this sucker too. Doing my part. you guys, I just tweeted out the link again, and I hit Rebekah up with it. So if you haven't watched it, wait until the show's over and go watch it.
Don't just watch it once. Watch it like 7,000 times. Whatever it takes.
And then share it with your friends and your family, and maybe not little children, with family.
Yeah, little children need to learn stuff.
Okay.
Watch it with
there's a very
intense final episode approved.
Yeah, there is a very intense scene within this pilot in the bathroom. Was it difficult to film that? Because that was pretty, I mean, it was about as graphic as you can get. And meanwhile, I'm not telling anybody what's going on. It's about as graphic because, I mean, Kelly liked it because there was some nudity in it. But
not for me, yes.
Yeah.
They showed man.
Tony, maybe we can let Kelly share what Kelly liked about it versus you.
Okay, no.
Maybe
All right,
can I go out on a limb here and ask that we do that?
No. Yeah, no. There was some man butt in there. I'm sorry, Kelly, that I attributed that to you. It was probably Mike who enjoyed it more than you did.
Well, I can be down with that, sure.
But was that difficult to film?
Yes and no. I will say a shout out to Jason, who plays the guy, the teacher, and the other man. He's awesome, and I hadn't met him before. We hadn't really even we talked like one night before, like we all went to dinner and just chatted to kind of get to know each other. But he was really, really gracious and very courteous of me, and making sure that I was okay after a take, and making sure that he wasn't doing anything that made me feel uncomfortable. And you know what? You don't always get that, so I just wanted to give a shout out to him that he was really awesome. People, a lot of times they'll ask you about like, oh, is kissing scenes hard or sex scenes or whatever, and it's not at all what it looks like. I mean, I know it looks very heated and sexual and whatever, but it's really not, because we blocked it so nobody would get hurt. And then once you're doing it, you have all the crew staring at you. I have a director who's like, okay, put your hand here, okay, kiss him here, do this, do that. So you're in your head completely, like you're trying to balance being in your head and staying true to the character and reactions. And so it's like a mixture, so there's really no time to even think about anything other than what you're doing. And so then it kind of takes out all of that romanticism of it, because it's just not. And when it looks great, that's a great thing, and awesome that it turns out so great, because when you're doing it, it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like very robotic, and you're like hoping that it doesn't look that way. So, yeah.
See, that's
but then
what I was trying to explain to Kelly when we're doing our love scenes. I'm like, Kelly, you got to stay professional. He gets a little too into it, and I try and tell him, this is art. You need to stay professional. He gets really handsy with me, though.
Yeah. Well, I can understand that, Mike.
Oh no, I'm not blaming.
It's actually not.
Mike is like a big cuddly teddy bear. Who can keep their hands off him? I can't.
I was gonna say it's actually also not hard to do, because once you're in it, you just kind of get on the ride and you just go, and then afterwards you just hope that it looks good.
Yeah, and so basically what you're doing is, okay, at this point I'm supposed to put my hand on this X over here, and I got to make sure my left foot is on that mark over there, and I got to make sure my head is tilted this way, and you're thinking about all this other crap, and oh, and by the way, there happens to be somebody else standing very close to you, but like he's doing the same thing too. I get it.
Yeah, so it's not. They don't just like put you in a room and say go for it and let's see what happens. No, like they block everything from the door to the sink to whatever, like your hands are placed, like everything is positioned and either blocked before or even during the scene. They, like the director, she was like calling out to me while we were doing the scene, and then they just put music over it or whatever. But yeah, so it's very but then you're trying to make it look awesome. So hopefully it did.
So two non-constructive comments. One, it would have been awesome if the direction just would have been "Go get her," you know. But so that would be, and then the other part, when Tony was mentioning, put your hand over on X here, it was kind of handy because the actor had an X on his arm, so there was some times when that would work out really well. So very, very cool.
I was actually going to interrupt when Tony was saying that, and everybody should hashtag sex scene twister.
Is that what happened with Siegfried and Roy? They just said to the lion, "Okay,
Twister?
Go get him." No.
Go get him might have been, yeah.
Yeah. We all know how that turned out. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that good. Where are we? Oh my goodness.
So there's. I did want to make sure. So again, we want to. It's super awesome for Rebekah to come on and join us. And she's been a great friend and supporter of the show. So thank you so much for that. So whatever we can do, and the folks that like SnarkAlec Radio can do to help support her here in terms of watching this video, tweeting it, liking it. After the show, ideally for viewing it, that would be great. But do it and do it a lot, and show her the support we can give, because she's been a great friend, and it's also really good. I mean, so it's not like you have to go watch something that's bad. It's really good. So you should watch.
There have been times we've sent people to watch things.
Yeah, like we ask them to come back for the next episode.
This is not one of those times. You guys definitely want to check this out.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. It does.
Well, we wanted people to check out bad stuff too, like Troll 2. That's an awesome movie if you know going in that it's going to be horrendous. Okay? But this is nothing like that. This is a well-made pilot, okay? And actually, the interesting thing is when you get to the end and you watch it all come full circle, is that you don't see Rebekah act when she's acting, but you see Rebekah talk when she is. I guess that's an essay or a poem that you're reading up in front of a group of people.
Yeah,
and that is basically you are the narrator of the episode, because
right.
It shows you how you get to the end. And see, we try not to give too much away, but you gave away a lot.
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's hard to talk about it and not, give. But you still have to watch it, and the end is great because it's a little ambiguous as to even if that's real. Like, is he actually there? Is he actually coming up to her? That's all kind of left up to interpretation as far as what is real and what isn't real.
Yeah, because there is one shot where it's an empty bar, and he's the only one there.
Right.
But that could be interpreted so many different ways. Well, actually, two. Like, you don't see anybody else but him. But okay, let's not get too deep into that. There is a question here. Do you find any similarities between your character and you of all these conflicts of being a teenager? So do you see any similarities to yourself in the characters that you played with conflicts? And this is from site Alt Plus.
Well, especially this character, yes. I'm not a poet. I don't know how to. Well, I've never really tried to write much poetry besides maybe in high school, but I do like to write, and so I like to write oftentimes my feelings, and so I understood that part of Emily where she had this experience that she thought she was ready for, and then she realized she wasn't ready for it, and she wrote this poem to express that because that's the only way that she could. And so that part I understand, and I understand the artist part of it because I'm an actor, obviously, and that's how we share pieces of ourselves is by doing this role. Like every time I act on stage or act in a film or TV or whatever it is, I'm sharing a piece of me, and that's exactly what she did on that stage. Is she shared a piece of her, and so I do relate to that, and I'm similar in those ways. Yeah.
Okay. Did you see the?
Like
Did you see the? Yeah, no.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a part of the reason there's a silence is I'm trying to find a non-creepy way to say that the scene did not look mechanical, but I can't. But just know if I could, I mention it.
So you're saying you didn't watch it through a father's eyes?
Again, I can't find a way to articulate. Just good job. How about that? Good job, Rebekah.
That works. Thank you.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back. And there's a couple other things we need to at least touch base with Rebekah on in terms of projects. We might talk a little bit of Walking Dead. And we got a game, and there's a game anybody listening can maybe sort of participate in. If it doesn't spiral into a train wreck, we'll find out. You listen to SnarkAlec Radio's final show on Live 365's Loud and Loaded. We'll be right back. Hi, everybody. You're back. You're listening to SnarkAlec Radio. Mike, you need to do the final show this time. Listen to SnarkAlec Radio's
final show.
But it's not. It's the end. It's not the final show. It's the end.
Yeah.
Semantics.
No.
Quit being such a dick ass.
So Rebekah, my reaction, going along with what Kelly was saying before the break, my reaction when I was watching it was I was seeing my daughter, okay, and you know, seeing what was going on, and you know, kids grow up and they do things, but you could see that this was a mistake from the beginning, and I was looking at it, and I was like, man, I'm glad I don't have to pick up these pieces. You know what I mean? Like like as a dad, because I did identify with you as my daughter. Not that you are my daughter, because believe me, Rebekah is really 95 years old, and nobody knows it. She just looks really young, and she had a better plastic surgeon than Joan Rivers did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped this line, Tony. Just
go
get to the point.
The point just is that as a father of a high school age daughter, I could see some of the things that my daughter goes through when she's going through, her normal life. Stories that I hear from school, and I'm glad I don't have that situation where I do have to pick up the pieces. Do you think that eventually one day you'll become a mom? Will you have a hard time having to deal with a daughter that is in a bad situation like that?
Yeah, I'm glad that at this point it was not real, and they could say cut, and I could move on and forget about it, because it's that even when you're not 16, even when you're an adult, that's still really hard. If you think you're in a place and then you find out that you're not, and especially when you're a teenager, all your emotions are like really heightened, and you feel everything so deeply, and then it causes you to kind of just go crazy, and you do what you think is best because you don't know any other way. And I think even if her mother had said, no, you shouldn't do this, I think she would have done it anyway, because she felt just this connection to him and this need for him. And then once it was over, it was kind of like, oh, now what? And I don't even know how to begin as a parent, not a parent yet, but when I am a parent, to be able to talk to my daughter. I think that's the only thing you can do is just be there for her and talk to her and explain, maybe help explain why you feel this way. It's a really really delicate and sensitive situation, and I hope that people watch it, that they can also, I don't know, feel something for her and relate to her, even if not necessarily that situation, but something that they've dealt with like that. And it's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
You were awesome in it, and if you are 95, you better get going on the kid thing quick. I'm just saying, just some unsolicited advice. 95, yeah. But you're spry. It's a spry 95 for sure.
Did you see the last question in there, Kelly? Guys, Craig Engler told me he no longer works for Sci-Fi. Did you see that one?
Yeah, that is disappointing. So yeah, not so much a question for Rebekah, but more kind of a way to get us information, I guess. But if indeed Craig and I haven't seen that on Twitter, but I have no doubt. It's true. That could be a real bummer for what happens next for Z Nation.
Well, it does end up being a question for Rebekah because he thinks so Z Nation's future might be doomed. I hope not. I love the show. But the question is, would you want to play a zombie or a zombie hunter on Z Nation or The Walking Dead? And that's from our buddy Kurt. He wants to know if you had a choice between being on Z Nation or The Walking Dead, which show would you prefer?
Only because I haven't seen Z Nation, so I can't really speak on the show. I would love. It sounds like a lot of fun. I know a lot of people love it, and so I really need to check it out. I would love to be on The Walking Dead. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say about that as far as, except for just I love it. I love the show. I love the characters. I love that nobody is safe, as we've learned, and it's just so intense. And I don't know. I love it. I would love to be on it, and in any capacity, preferably not a zombie, only because they usually die fairly quickly. But maybe if all of a sudden they had zombies that could talk, then I'd be, yeah.
I think, from my understanding, that might be coming on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But I know Z Nation is definitely heading towards something along the lines of a talking zombie soon, because one of the main characters, Murphy, is basically a half zombie at this point. So, and he can still talk. So.
Well, they need to hire me then.
Half zombie, all awesome. That's what Murphy is. So.
I mean, half zombie would be fun.
That's also what Kelly's personal ad says.
That would be. I could go with that.
Kelly, have you been trolling through Twitter? Has anything been coming through on Twitter?
Nothing. I haven't seen anything else. I haven't seen anything else on Twitter as far as questions for Rebekah. I did want to, though, follow up before we kind of close out maybe some of this conversation. So there were a couple other things you shared with us. Are both things we can talk about, right? And at least mention? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the first one, as I get to my some notes here, street level. And street level, what status is it in? Is it shot and yet to be released?
Yeah, we just finished shooting mid-November. So they are in post-production now, and they're editing it. And we went to the wrap party a few weeks ago, and we got to see, they just put some clips together as a, kind of demo trailer, and it was not color corrected, no sound, and it already looks awesome. So, I don't know if do you want me to talk about it? Or?
Yeah, because I know we basically know you said it's got Awesome You, Danny Trejo, and Charisma Carpenter. These are all people in the movie?
Yeah, it's a pilot. So the hope is that, again, that it gets picked up. For people that watch Sons of Anarchy, we just ended last night for the final series finale after 7 years. So if you watch it, the guy that played Happy, David LaBrava, he wrote and directed and is also in it. And then, like you said, it's got Charisma Carpenter and Danny Trejo and Mark Boone Jr., who's also in Sons of Anarchy, and Robert Patrick and Drea Di Matteo, who's in Sons of Anarchy, and several other people from Sons of Anarchy as well. Marilyn Manson has like a small part. There's like crazy amount of awesome people that I didn't even mention that are in it as well. So it's basically about some drug addicts and their lives. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. The hope is that it gets picked up.
Okay.
And apparently you did the Mike Volinsky bio movie, Bastard. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Wait, what?
No, Rebekah, your expression was priceless. That was funny.
So
I was like, I don't remember.
It's not about. I guess it's probably not about Mike, but you did a movie called Bastard. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. It's another horror film I just wrapped in September, directed by Patrick Young and Paul Robinson, who the two of them are amazing. Just they're incredible directors. Like they're young. They're like in their early 20s, and they are going to blow up. I know it. That movie is about 5 strangers that end up in a bed and breakfast, and then things go chaotic and people start dying, and they have to try to figure out what's going on and survive. So I play another 16-year-old Betty, who's part of a sister-brother runaway. Her and her brother run away from home, from a really bad home situation, kind of to find a worse situation. But I don't want to give too much away about that yet, because I don't really know how much I'm allowed to talk about as far as my character. But I'm dealing with something really big for 16, and yeah, so that's just wrapped as well. So they're probably editing it at the moment. And there is a teaser, actually, a teaser trailer out for it that they just put out for like Halloween. I don't on their page. I could find it and send it to you. But yeah.
Sure. But there's no stew. There's no beef stew?
No, not this time. No stew. No.
Do you have a tongue in both movies?
Yes, I speak. Yay!
Oh,
they're actually, this is more of a slasher, definitely more of a slasher than any of the others.
So Kurt wants to know, or the comment he's making now on Twitter is, didn't Becca promise to sing for us last time she was on? I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either. Sing. I don't know what I would sing.
Kelly is awesome. Kelly is awesome. Come on, everybody.
Well, if we're gonna go down that route, Scott McDonald still said that I was better than Jay-Z. So at the beginning of the show, I guess he was talking about that. But we've got to start. We got to move along a little bit because it's about 10:13. We got a game. How long is the game, Kel?
It can be pretty quick. It's 10 questions.
Okay.
Participation.
I want to jump into Laura's email. She has a question for y'all. So we're going to be jumping around here a little bit, people. Jump in for y'all's discussion on Z Nation. Would you want to be bitten by Murphy? Kelly, would you want to be bitten by Murphy?
Would I? Yes. Yes, I would.
Mike, would you want to be bitten by Murphy?
Yes.
Okay, so the background, Rebekah, is Murphy was given a vaccine, and then he was attacked by 8 zombies, but he did not die and did not turn. So we've come to find out that if he bites you, he kind of imparts some immunity to you, but it takes a while. But it also makes you susceptible to mind control by Murphy. So would you want to be bitten by Murphy if it was the zombie apocalypse and it was the only way to save your life?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 3 yeses. There's 4 yeses because I take a bite from Murphy if it was a choice between dying
Death or that.
So Laura says, me personally, I think it's cool to have super speed and strength. The zombies wouldn't bother you, and the eyes look pretty cool too. They have those golden eyes. The bad side of it is that the mind control that Murphy would have on you. I think my warped and crazy mind is beautiful, and it would be a disservice to the world if I didn't share it. Now, if I was on my deathbed, rather than becoming a zombie, bite me, Murphy, bite me. Murphy Minion is better than flesh-eating zombie. Murphy rocks. Bravo to the folks behind Z Nation. It's getting better with every show. And I'm not going to read the next line of that email, although, Kelly, I'm sure you saw it. Something about shark and pals.
Yeah, I'm not going to happen, Laura. You know, life's full of disappointments. Tonight's another one for you. That ain't going to happen.
So that's out of the way. Is anybody else have any other new questions? Because we answered all the questions that were submitted. There was a couple of questions that were similar, so we weren't going to ask them twice. But there was questions from Smit T. Well, we can ask that one. If you could have any career other than acting, what would it be, Becca? And that's from Smitty T.
Oh, that's funny because actually I did an interview the other day and somebody asked me that, and that's hard because I haven't really ever thought about anything else. But I did actually think, I don't know. Again, I'm sharing this horrible stuff. I'm pretty good at stalking people, so I feel like a private investigator or like investigator would be fun. I don't think I could do like murders or anything because that probably would be too much. But I think it'd be fun to like, you know, try to dig into things and I don't know. Or a teacher. I'll go with that. A teacher maybe.
So stalking, possibly murder, or a teacher.
No, yeah. I think she ruled out. You didn't rule out murder.
No, you
only because it might be difficult.
Yeah, it might. Well, not killing people. I mean, you know, investigating murders would probably be tough. I don't know. I probably should just stick to acting because I really don't know how to do anything else.
So, do we want to take a break, do some Walking Dead, and then go into game? Is that good?
Sounds good. You're listening to The End on SnarkAlec Radio, live 365, loud and loaded. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, we're back to The End of SnarkAlec Radio on live 365, loud and loaded. It's Mike, Tony, Kelly, and potential future murderer Rebekah Kennedy, which we've just learned is a possible career choice. So you've heard it here first. As long as it's not too hard.
Don't rule out murder.
That's right. After it gets easy.
Yeah, okay, well, you know.
For a while, it just gets
natural. If my husband ends up dead, they might look at me first.
If it wasn't for murderers, homicide detectives wouldn't have jobs. And we need to keep our homicide detectives. Yes, we need to keep them gainfully employed. So, you know.
Yay, murder.
That's right. And the Pope regularly watches SnarkAlec Radio, and we'll have him vouch for you, so you're good. You're good. We're tight. Tight with.
Says thumbs up to murder.
There's a sentence I didn't expect to hear. So Walking Dead.
If the acting doesn't work out, there is my second choice.
There you go. Good to know. Hey, we got things covered for you. We got your back. The Pope's got your back, so you're good. So Walking Dead. You said you're not quite all the way caught up, but you do know some of the key events.
Yeah. I did see. It's kind of, if you're on social media at all, it's about impossible not to.
Some useless fourth-string character died.
Yeah.
But boy, and Tony flagged this, you know, in terms of, so there was everybody hated Dale, and then when Dale went, then there was kind of more support for Dale. I didn't see for Lori or Andrea, really like groundswell support when they left. But I do think Tony pointed out, that's kind of what looked like it happened with the fourth-string character here, is that there were people who were not big fans, and there's actually an online petition out there now to bring this character back, which I don't know. I think it's kind of an exercise in futility, because that injury appeared to me to be on the significant side.
Well, when the body's being carried out by Daryl, that you're not going back from that. But I mean, I don't regularly.
Robitussin can fix a lot.
NyQuil's better.
She was full JFK in Dallas, man. I don't know.
You can't bring people back. Like, it would defy the laws of the show too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, one of the things that Kirkman said on The Talking Dead was that, in order to keep the show legit and believable, is that you can't keep every main character alive. If you don't let some of them go, then you delegitimize the show. And
and even shitty characters that no one cares about.
Well, I mean,
also, if anyone watching this owns a diner, your special tomorrow needs to be called the Full JFK in Dallas.
But yeah, I mean, I think exactly what happened to Dale happened to Beth. There was a lot of people that did not like the character, thought she was useless. For me, I mean, she was just there. But even a lot of people pointed out that her own sister in the show didn't care too much for her, never really mentioned her that much.
Yeah.
And
she never seemed to be upset when she wasn't there. Like, it was kind of like she was got kidnapped and she didn't even care that she was gone.
Exactly, but so I mean, I was of the camp where I did not care for Dale, but I didn't hate him. And the funny thing that happens with The Walking Dead, if you ever catch the marathons, or if you buy the season and you watch it on DVD, when you watch one episode after the other where you're not waiting, you get a totally different feel for that character than you do for other characters. Dale was annoying when you had to wait a week in between episodes, but he wasn't so bad, if you could, when you watch it during a marathon. I didn't care either way about Beth. I had no strong feelings. There's some people that, every time she showed up, she was singing, and it annoyed people, and I loved it. And I was like, I couldn't wait for her to die, because I know these same people are going to be like, that's messed up, how could you kill her? And that pretty much happened.
But if you got to give somebody up, who are you going to give up ahead of her? I mean, she was due. I think at this point, if somebody's got to go, she's first in the cylinder there, man.
Yeah, she was just shark chum.
Yes, she was.
Fancy pronunciation and all.
Yeah. So if you were going to give the first half of the season a letter grade, Kelly, what would it be?
Oh gosh, it's because it started out so incredibly strong. I'm gonna give it a B. I really want to give it a B minus, but when the first part of the season carried it so much, I can't pull it down to B minus. I'll give it a B. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to it coming back.
And, well, I know you didn't watch every episode, but if you were going to give the show a grade, Rebekah, for the first half of this season.
Yeah, I'm kind of behind, but I would give it an A. I've been really, really liking it.
And Mike?
Are we going letters or numbers?
You're going probably animal, will be my guess.
Tony, is this letters or numbers?
You said grade.
I said letter grade, so
Okay.
that means you're probably going to go orange.
All right, so letter grade is going to be root beer.
Root beer. Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Root beer starts off really, really strong, but then if you drink a bunch of root beers in a row, it loses its appeal really quickly, and that's what happened when we got into the Beth in the hospital storyline.
Okay. So you're giving it just plain old root beer. You're not giving it Dr. Pepper or anything like that. It's just root beer.
Let's not get crazy.
Okay. I'm going to give it, surprisingly, I'm going to give it a B+ because I did not mind the Beth-centered episodes because they were just a setup. But I think this whole half season was only about a week, maybe a little bit longer than that, because they got out of Terminus, and this is like all happening all within a very short period of time. So I'm just wondering when we're going to see Morgan, because they keep on teasing that sucker. So I want to see him, but I thought it was a good half season. There was a lot of stuff happening, even with the separate little storylines they had going. I was very impressed.
Morgan has already contributed more to this season than Beth did.
You got a pretty firm position there, don't you, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like the way you feel about Murphy, almost there, Kel. But I'm just going to check the old Twitter to see if we've got any comments from the Peanut Gallery here. Okay, Laura hated Dale when he was alive and hated him when he was dead. Dale sucked. Myrna says that she was not a Dale. Beth was growing up with zombies, okay? You sound so cruel about Beth. I didn't like her, but it was said. I don't know who was being cruel about Beth. Maybe she's talking to you, Mike?
I think it had to be.
I think that's more Kelly directed, but, I'll take it.
Myrna, let me make this clear. I'm comparing Dale and Beth because on Twitter, both of those characters were not liked by a lot of people. And when Dale died, some of those people were like, oh my God, that's messed up. So I saw the same thing happen when Beth got killed. I did not feel bad about Beth or good about Beth. She was just there. I don't think the show loses a lot without her being there. I'm just saying.
It loses that singing that no one enjoyed. Or the way that she slows down scenes.
And puts people at risk. So that was nice.
Sasha would be a bigger loss. Michonne would be a bigger loss. Tara would be a bigger loss.
I don't know. Fist bump girl could go anytime, as far as I'm concerned.
She could. How about Rosita? I mean...
Oh, no, she needs to stay.
Yeah, okay. I thought you'd felt that way. And I gave Murphy a Dr. Pepper. He rocks. So Laura is giving Murphy a Dr. Pepper.
I'm with her on that completely. In fact, I would even maybe go a little bit higher and say ginger ale.
Ooh.
Wow, ginger ale.
If we're sticking to letter grades.
And for you zombie-loving people, if you're still watching, I am thinking of doing a hangout in the beginning of the new year with as many people who want to come on, if they want to talk about zombies and Z Nation and The Walking Dead before The Walking Dead comes back on. As soon as I pick a date and figure it out. Anybody who's interested, let me know. But when we get closer to like next year and before everything starts up again, I'll be putting out some tweets and we'll have a sign up. So hey, everybody here is invited if you want to try and join just a general zombie discussion and something like that. But that's next year's thing.
I don't have to wear pants. I'm there.
Mike, as far as I'm concerned, you can go pantsless all the time.
It's the way Jesus made me.
Yep.
I'm not going to speak out an official position on this topic, but I will take us to a break.
And then we'll have a game, and then we'll
wrap her up.
Then we'll bring this to an end.
So, everybody, you're listening to The End, SnarkAlec Radio, Live 365's Loud and Loaded, and we will be right back. Hi, everybody. Welcome to The End on SnarkAlec Radio, Live 365's Loud and Loaded. Tony, Mike, Kelly, and the lovely, wonderful Rebekah Kennedy, potential future murderer if it gets easy. We are going to do a game. Now, I have tried and failed miserably in the past to create an environment where those listening to the show could participate in the game. Last time I attempted to have them tweet the answers along as we were doing the quiz, and there was a lot of hate I got from Holly and from Australia. Rachel Rigda got all whiny on it, and so there was much complaining about it. So I went to an asynchronous approach, and so I have already linked out or sent out on Twitter. If you do a search, either check my feed or you do a search on SnarkAlec Radio or SnarkAlec, you'll find a link there to the quiz. So what I ask for you to do if you're participating at home is complete the quiz. Don't cheat, because our folks that are doing this aren't going to be able to go Google these answers. So just go ahead and answer them, and it's going to fill a spreadsheet for me. So if you're answering it, I can score you along with our guests and our competitors here. And if there's a tie, and Rebekah's one of the people that ties, she wins. If there's a tie and Tony and Mike are the people that are winning, whoever else they tied with wins. And there's a prize, that's right, the original Mike and the Big Lie cover from the Little Golden Book Mike and the Big Lie will be sent to the winner of this contest. It also lists on the back other Golden Pagan books, which included 3 Years, 2 Cellmates, 1 Bunk, Mommy, Why Do I Lie So Much, Pretending to Like Alice, 1 Drink, 2 Drink, Goats Are Fun, and of course my tutu is too tight. So this, from the original SnarkAlec Radio show where it debuted, is going to the winner of this game. So big prizes. Are we ready?
Yes.
Thank you, Rebekah. Glad you're awake.
Yes. No, I was looking behind you. Is that Finn from Adventure Time behind your head?
Yes. You don't win Finn. Doesn't happen.
I was gonna say, can I have Finn if I win?
No, you get Mike and the Big Lie. That's the only prize that's coming out of here. So.
Do you have Jake also? Because I kind of want the set.
I don't have Jake. I'll keep you appraised.
Cal, before we start the game, is there any significance to the egg? Because, you know, we haven't spoken about the egg tonight.
Yeah, so I've really never shared this before, but Roger Corman, as he puts stuff together, will often check in with me because he gets stuck and he's not really familiar what to do. And so he had come up with this idea. He was going to do a show called Minnow Garter Snake, and it was going to star Pauly Shore. And he was trying to piece it together, and as he does, he contacted me and said, this is my idea. And I said, Raj, you know, let me set you straight here a little bit. Your concept in general is good. Fish plus snake equals terror. Very good idea, but you could probably improve upon this. So I suggested to him, perhaps you could do Piranhaconda, part piranha, part anaconda, and then said, while Pauly Shore is certainly box office gold, maybe someone like a Terry Ivins could play the plucky film assistants versus Pauly. So Roger, you know, he's had good experiences. I've offered him these things, so he made these changes, and to thank me, he sent me one of the prop eggs from the movie Piranhaconda. So I don't really share that story often, but I shared it tonight, and tonight the egg is dressed up as Reg-tired, because the egg, who's been dressed up for many, many shows, is retiring tonight, much to its delight. So that's the story on the egg.
Okay.
100% true.
What's the story on having Finn but not Jake?
Well, Roger Corman sends me for another day, Mike, for another day. We have a quiz to begin with. Okay, so are any listeners who's still out there with us listening to The End has the ability to answer these questions. It'll be going into a spreadsheet, so I'll be able to see their answers, and I'll be able to score them at the end. I'm going to ask you the questions and keep track of your answers, but I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong until we're done. I will then end the time for people to contribute, and we'll go through the answers. So
are these multiple choice?
These are multiple choice, and once we are done, I will then shut off. I'll know what time it is, so I'll shut off other contributions to the or you can contribute to the spreadsheet, but I'm not going to count you. So, all right, 10 questions, multiple choice. Are you ready?
Yes.
We will start with you, Rebekah, and we will rotate Rebekah, Mike, and Tony for first round. In Kansas, legally, what can a waiter not do in a teacup? So what's against the law in Kansas for a waiter to do in a teacup? A, serve wine. B, urinate. C, spit. Or D, store tips.
I feel like this is a trick question.
They all are.
Is everybody getting this question, or
Everybody,
are you giving different questions?
You're all going to give an answer, and we're just going to go through.
Oh wait, they're going to know what I picked before.
Yeah, but they're not going to listen to you. Don't worry, you'll be good.
That's right. I'm keeping track of everybody's answers here.
That's not your job, Tony. Relax. I've got it. Sit on your hands and feet.
I feel like it's a trick question, so I'm gonna go with the storing tips.
Storing tips. Okay, Mike.
I think I'm gonna have to go tips as well. I was leaning towards spit, but
as you do.
Tips.
Okay.
You seem pretty tricky. You're the kind of guy who only has Finn and not Jake.
Tony?
Across the board, D.
Okay.
Tips.
All right, so question number 2. The first tennis balls were stuffed with what? Mike, we'll get to start with you on this one. Your choices are A, human hair, B, cat hair, C, horse hair, or D, none. Human, cat, horse, or none?
Horsehair.
Horsehair, that's
Wait,
C
you said
for Mike?
none?
None. The last
Wait, what
one,
was
D is
D?
none. D is none, nothing. They put nothing in it. So it would be first.
I thought when you said none, you meant N-U-N.
No, empty. Empty. There was nothing.
Our friend, and frequent viewer, the Pope, would never stand for that.
That's right. So Tony, horsehair, cat hair, or to be human hair.
I'm going horsehair.
See, okay. As did Mike. Rebekah.
I'm gonna go with the horsehair too.
Horsehair too. So you do all realize by giving the same answer, you're not creating any distance between each other.
We're tied. We're either
Okay.
we all have 2 points or we all have no points.
I'm gonna tip for you. Anyway,
I was hoping nuns, but I mean.
nuns. Yeah, I'll try and enunciate better on the next one. Okay, so Tony, we'll start with you on this one. According to the Athrelius Society, who is alive and living on Venus, the planet? Venus, the planet. Is it A, Elvis, B, Jesus Christ, C, aliens, or D, Zeus? Aetherius Society.
I'm going to go Zeus.
Zeus. D for Tony. Rebekah. Elvis, Jesus, aliens, or Zeus?
Elvis.
Elvis for Rebekah. Mike.
I think I'm going to have to go Zeus because we all know that Elvis is in a retirement home fighting mummies with JFK.
That's true. That is true. Okay, question 4.
Actually, can I change my answer?
Yes, you may.
Can I go with aliens instead?
Go with aliens? Okay.
Yeah.
That was aliens with C, right, Kelly?
C, right. Again, Tony, I've got it. I don't need your help. So,
I'm just making sure you don't misrepresent my answers.
oh, of course I will. By the way, I wouldn't worry about it a whole lot right now. Anyway, so number 4. What did French racing driver Jean Bethra keep in his pocket? So this is a French racing...
A banana.
So you don't know how multiple choices work, do you? Because that's not one of the choices. Rebecca.
A nun.
Choice is one.
A nun.
Your attitude, Missy, your attitude isn't worth catching either. So you just... A, a speeding ticket. B, a Roman coin, possibly held by a nun before that. C, his mother's ashes. Or D, a spare plastic ear. A speeding ticket, a Roman coin, his mother's ashes, or a spare plastic ear.
I'm going to go with A, the speeding ticket.
Speeding ticket for Rebecca. Okay.
I have no idea about that one, so.
Okay. Mike?
I'm going to have to go with the coin.
Going to have to go with the coin. Okay.
See, now we got some competition.
There we go. We're getting there. Tony.
I'm going coin.
Coin for Tony. All right. So I have 10. I can do one more, and we can kind of see where things at. Maybe from time, maybe that's best. And who knows? Maybe at another day we can do the rest. And yeah, we'll go ahead and finish here with just 5. Just because I'm looking at time and to do that. So question number 5. I would like to stress at this point that actually this question is going to be extremely important to all of you. Okay? This would be an extremely good question for one of you to get right. FYI. So I believe we start with you, Mike. In what nation did a foot deodorant get elected to political office? In what nation did a...
Say the question again, I'm sorry?
In what nation did a foot deodorant get elected to public office?
Iraq.
Was it A... Tony gets a -1. Was it A, France, B, Mexico, C, Ecuador, or D, the Netherlands?
I'm going to go with Ecuador.
Ecuador for Mike. C. Tony, France.
Si, senor.
C, you are doing Ecuador as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rebecca.
Can you repeat the options one more time?
Absolutely. France, which is A, Mexico, B, Ecuador, C, Netherlands, D.
I'm going to have to go with C as well.
Okay. All right. So, lengthwise, good to stop here, you guys think? I got more, but you good? We good here? We want to do another one. I can give you
Let's do one more.
Okay, we'll do one more. I'm going to jump to this one. Okay. At age 72, so folks playing at home, I'm jumping to question 7. I'm skipping question 6. So for your scoring, I'm only going to score 1 through 5 and 7. Deal with it. No whining. Don't care. Number 7. At age 72, who set the world water speed record of over 70 miles per hour? Was it A, Buddy Bell, B, Mark Bell, C, Mary Bell, or D, Alexander Graham Bell? So, Buddy Bell, Mark Bell, Mary Bell, or Alexander Graham Bell, and we will start with you, Rebecca. Buddy, Mark,
well, I know
Mary,
it's not. I can't even remember the names.
Buddy Bell, Mark Bell, Mary Bell, and Alexander Graham Bell.
I don't know. A.
Going with A. All right. Mike.
Mary Bell.
Mary Bell for Mike. Tony.
And Mark Bell was B?
Yeah, Buddy Bell, Mark Bell, Mary Bell, and Alexander Graham Bell.
I'm not going with the guy who invented the telephone. I'm going to go with B.
B, okay.
Mark Bell.
All right. I think we're done then.
Although,
Okay.
I think that's a trick. I feel like it's a trick question.
You would be right, Rebecca. You would be very right about that being a trick question. So I'm going to check
I think
the...
it's actually... Wait, can I change my answer? Can I change my...
Yes, you may.
I think it is. I think it is D, Alexander.
Yeah, and you're the only one I'm going to let change your question, so congratulations. Good. All right, so D. All right, so now I need to take a quick look. So guys, let me tell you in terms of your answers, with Rebecca's last second change of her answer, she rocketed to 2 correct answers, and each of the other 2 of you have 1. And you went into the last round tied at 1.
Wait, which one did I get right?
Well, we'll get to that in a second here. And so I think actually, for the folks on Twitter, well, I can score you, but it's going to take me a little while to score. I'll check this out. We'll square this away, and we'll make sure. Well, hang on a sec here. If you just
tell us which ones to go through and say which ones
so
are
right.
right.
All right, well, I'll do this kind of on the fly here because I can check the score because we did have very cool. We had Myrna, John McGevna, Kurt, and Barry join us in the contest. So I'll score them along with you. So we're going to recap here really quick. So we'll start off with the first question, which was, what can a waiter not do in a teacup? All of you said store tips. That is incorrect. It is actually serve wine. It is serve wine, and Myrna got that correct. So Myrna already has 1.
Well, everybody knows that she's an alky wino.
Yeah. That's the team bitter way to go about answering a question. Okay, number 2. What first tennis balls were stuffed with what? Again, you all went with horsehair, which was the incorrect answer. Everyone on Twitter went with horsehair, the incorrect answer. The right answer was human hair. Human hair was what the first tennis balls were. So nobody got that right. But yeah, so I guess if it had been a nun, nuns have hair, you almost could have got partial credit. But, sorry. So right now, going into it, Myrna still got her 1. She's in the mix. So now we go to, according to the Three-Leaf Society, Who's Alive and Living on Venus, our group of scholars here, we're all over the place. We had an Aliens with Rebecca. Mike and Tony went with Zeus. A Three-Leaf Society, they've got Jesus. They've got Jesus on... there, and nobody on Twitter got that one either. So Myrna's still in the mix with 1. As we go to question 4.
But
yeah, would have been Elvis would have been cool. French racing driver Jean Bethra. What did he keep in his pocket? We had Rebecca going with a speeding ticket, and Tony and Mike going with Roman coins. Keeping their string of lying of not getting anything right yet, he actually kept a spare plastic ear in his pocket. And, well, looky there. Barry has just got on the board. So Barry now has 1 along with Myrna. You guys all have 0 so far, but now you guys got hot. As we move on into the next one, which was question 5. What nation did a foot deodorant get elected to office? You all answered Ecuador. You all were correct. And nobody on Twitter did that. So they were all wrong on Twitter. So going into the final question, Myrna won, Barry won, Tony, Mike, and Rebecca all won. So the last question, which was at age 72, who set the water speed record over 70 miles per hour? Rebecca said Alexander Graham Bell. Tony went with Mark Bell. And Mike went with Mary Bell. And on Twitter we had a couple Marys and a Mark and a Buddy. Rebecca is correct. Alexander Graham Bell. Look it up on frickin' Wikipedia if you want to. Began to experiment with
they've always
hydrofoils.
Always
late in his, he went involved with hydrofoils late in his career. That became a very strong of interest, and his hydrofoil set the water speed record at 70 miles per hour. It's on the internet. It has to be true. And what better way to end SnarkAlec Radio with our guest winning the contest and the mic and the big lie. So we'll have to find out if you've got a post office box or something. I can send that to Rebekah to avoid any stalking unpleasantries and all that. But we'll work that details out on how to ship that in a way that's not too creepy. So, good job, Rebekah. And folks on Twitter, thanks for
question, just because, yeah.
Very good. And we had some people on Twitter playing along, so it kind of sort of worked out. So I'm glad we kind of worked out some of the kinks on our last show. So.
Well, you'll be back at some point. You have to. Yes.
So here's your prize. Here's your prize. We'll have to figure out how to get that to you. So.
Yay!
Suitable for framing.
So there is no next week. So we want to thank Rebekah for being one of the best guests we've ever had. Yay! Multiple times on. Don't forget to check out but the other shows that we want supported, like Dylan Knows and Nurture and Support and Bring Out Your Geek and Cockstar Radio and who am I forgetting? The Assistant.
I'll be right back. Just keep going, Tony. I got a thing here.
Oh, okay.
Weird. So, yeah, there's something weird going on with the egg. It looks like it might actually, I don't know, it might actually be finally hatching after all of these shows, which people warned me about. This is not good. This is not good at all. It looks mad about the shirt. It looks really mad about the shirt. It looks mad kind of about the hat, too. Oh man, game over. I don't think this is good at all. I'm in a lot of trouble, guys. I need some help here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to stall here for a little bit more and see if the egg doesn't attack me. I don't know.
It doesn't sound good.
Is he dead?
Kelly?
Kelly?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. There's nothing left. Oh, well.
I don't think I can live in a world without Kelly. I don't think I want to live in a world without Kelly. It just so happens that I have my family's suicide knife that's been passed down from generation to generation with me on this show. So I'm going to have to say goodbye to everyone this way. I don't think Kelly would want it that way, though. He'd probably want me to go out the way that we had always talked about on our romantic vacations together. And I'm going to have to go out just like David Carradine with my belt around my neck. Goodbye, everyone.
That's rough.
Oh, well. All right, Rebekah. I think it's just me, you, and Kelly's hand. And with that, we're going to end the show. Just have a little bit of a musical interlude.